We are now, I'm talking now about past legalization. Legalization did a couple things for us. It didn't just open the fucking doors for us to smoke weed on the fucking street openly and not get arrested. I mean, amen for that, right? But what it also did was open a fucking gazillion doors and opportunities for Silicon Valley and researchers and doctors to come forward and not have to fucking study, in closed doors in fear of being arrested or prosecuted. We can now come public and go share every fucking thing that we knew with everybody everywhere. And then we had fucking geeks and I call you geeks because you're my boys. We had geeks in Silicon Valley starting to produce fucking equipment and technology that enabled us to take what we already knew and make it fucking science and make it factual and make it undisputable, right? And so through all this, we found out it was the same with the Rick Simpson treatment. The Rick Simpson treatment on its own is, yes, it can be successful, but it wasn't successful enough for me. I knew that we could improve it. And that was a very cocky and bold statement for two fucking potheads sitting in a fucking lab in a territory in Alderville who don't have any doctoral or science or medical backgrounds at all. We were just enthusiasts and activists that had research and data available to us and products, endless fucking products that we could look into and research. All in all, it ended with Rick Simpson oil by itself wasn't enough. People, cancer patients and clients that we had were still dying. And that wasn't working. That wasn't sitting for me. And I was like, no, man, and there's more to this. I know there's more. And I looked into the formulations, and with the help of, like, I don't care if she's watching, I don't care if anybody tells her that I said this, with the help of this batshit crazy loon tune woman who lives on the territory, she's a registered herbologist. She's a lot of things, but she's smart with herbs. And she created, well, I don't know if she created or she recreated something called a Hockney formulation. And this is an all natural herb formulation. And it had two fucking miracle things that went on with it. One, it helps expunge toxins out of the body at an exceptional rate. When you start eradicating cancer cells, toxins start to build up in the body, dead cancer cells. If you don't get them out fast enough, fuck, you can lose a patient from going toxic faster than you could lose them from cancer, right? So she had this formulation that helped expunge those toxins at a great rate. And it had a second benefit. When a cell is attacked by cancer, what can be left behind in a lot of the cells that are affected in the body are damaged, right? And Western science will put you on a medication to help protect those damaged cells for the rest of your life. The Hockney formulation will actually help repair the human cell back to normal and make it healthy. This was like fucking imperative part of a treatment, right? And I was like, and I couldn't for the life of me figure out, for all the things we knew about CBD. Okay, for those of you that don't know, the two best benefits of CBD, or is it boosts your natural immune system and boosts your natural healing system. So, I mean, it doesn't take a doctor to think that if we're combating cancer in a body, why the fuck would we not be pounding it with CBD to keep the natural immune system and natural healing system boosted to the max while we put our bodies through this tremendous war, right? And so now I've got three components. And then I met this dietitian one day, and she said, one of the key factors to combating cancer is to starve it. And I was like, well, what do you mean? And she took this whole time, like she took a couple of weeks to educate me on like how cancer actually feeds on, processed foods and sugars and all this different stuff. And there's actually a diet that's on the internet, easy to find. It's called the Gerson Diet. And if you were to follow this diet to the letter, if you had cancer and you didn't do any cannabis or CBD or anything else, and you just followed this Gerson diet by itself, you have a chance just to beat cancer on its own. Now, I'm not telling anybody anything on how to treat your cancer. Always consult your doctor, your physician. Fucking, I'm not the be all and end all. I'm just telling you what I know and what I learned. And the final factor was this Rick Simpson oil, right? So it broke down to Rick Simpson oil will eradicate cancer cells. CBD oil will help boost your natural immune system and natural healing system. The Hockney formulation will remove the dead cancer cells from your system and repair any damage that was left behind. And the fucking Gerson diet will starve any cancer cells that we didn't get with the fucking THC. And I sat there for a few minutes and it was like, it all just came together. And it was like, and I was like, these four things together would make for like an incredible cancer treatment. But like, how do you go to somebody who says, I'm combating cancer, and you're like, well, I'm fucking nobody, but I want you to risk your life on what I think I know. And fucking sorry if it doesn't work. Like, you know what I mean? Like, can you imagine being in that position? You're sitting in your fucking desk. You finally think that you have put all the fucking pieces together. You think you fucking finally have it all fucking figured out. You've talked to Rick Simpson himself. You talked to doctors in Israel. You've got a team of fucking, people like left, right, center. You've got it all fucking, you've got it. But who the fuck do you go to and say, I need you to risk your life for me on nothing but a hypothesis of what I think is going to fucking work. And I'll tell you, bro, you ready for the first set? Here they come. I was well known for coming into work on my days off. I loved going into work, catching up on the tests, because on top of all this, I had to test every single cannabis product that came through the store. I had to go through my testing machine and my microscope. So while I'm inspecting 40 something products a day and giving them the stamp of approval to go out on the floor and be sold. What's that? What are you drinking? I don't know what that means, but yes, and only if I can have a small glass of it, just to see what you're drinking. I love my stage hands.
Shout out stage
so
agent guy.
So I came in on my day off, which was not unknown. They always gave me the slow days off. And so, it was one of these weird times where there was no customers in the store. And when there were no customers in the store, a lot of the staff would take that chance. They'd run out back, they'd rip a bong, right? They'd go downstairs, grab your phone, fucking hit them, whatever. Right? The door chime rings and, someone runs up. So I was downstairs and I came upstairs. I didn't even hear the door chime. Shout out, bro. Thank you. I didn't even hear the door chime. He knows I'm about to have tears. So he brought me a fucking swath of his rosé. And I came up the stairs and there was this guy coming in the door. And I was like, oh, hey, man, how you doing? Can I help you? And he was like, yeah. He's like, I don't really know what to do. I don't really know why I'm here. I just, my friend said I should come here. And I was like, cool, man. I'm like, I'm Trev. What can I do for you? And he's like, well, I have cancer. And now this was never a big shock, right? I've probably dealt with about 7 cancer patients or clients from this time already. And we were in the cancer treatment, process at that time. And he said, I have 60 days to live. They gave me 60 days to live. Oof. And I said, what treatments are you on? And he said, none. He said, they've just sent me home, call it a day. And it blew me away because he looked really healthy and he looked in good spirits. And it was fucking weird to me. And I said, well, he said, what do you know about cannabis, man? And he said, well, I know a bit, but not a lot. I think it'll help ease things. And I said, have you ever heard of Rick Simpson oil? And he said, my friend had said something to me, but I didn't pay attention. And I said, you got half an hour? And he was like, dumb question kind of thing, And so I told him everything. I had a spiel that I have for Rick Simpson treatment when I'm introducing people to what the product is and how it works and the treatment program and, everything that's available. And I said, the thing is, man, it's 60 grams over 90 days. because you're supposed to build up. For those that don't know, you start your Rick Simpson treatment by consuming a very small amount, and that's to help build up your tolerance level because it's such a high concentrate. So you consume a bit and you're fucking high, right? And a lot of people that come to you with cancer treatment aren't necessarily cannabis users. So it's like eating a 800 milligram fucking edible at once, not recommended for the lightweight, So you tell them to kind of take a quarter of the 800 milligram fucking edible and build their way up. So that over the course of like the first 5 weeks, you're consuming very small amounts and getting up to where you have to consume an entire fucking gram every single day. Excuse me 1 second. If you're gonna take a shit right beside me, my cat, while I'm doing an interview, that's
hilarious.
Bad manners.
That's
bad
amazing.
fucking manners. Come
No one
on,
was
out of the room.
expecting that. I wasn't expecting that. No one was expecting the cat to take a shit and not be a part of this.
No, fucking bastard. So he said, well, I'll just take a whole gram a day, 60 grams, 60 days. And I said, buddy, you're going to be fucking high as a kite. Like, you're not even going to, you will be non-functional. Like, you're going to wake up, eat a gram for 60 fucking days. And he was like, yep, how much does it cost? Slammed down his fucking money, took everything I had to offer. I always give my RSO customers my phone number, my private number. And I tell them, call me 24/7, man. Because like people get really high off it and then they want to call the ambulance and shit. Like that was the 2019 #1 call of 911 was people calling thinking they were dying from overeating edibles. So the last thing I want is a cancer patient having a quote unquote overdose of cannabis in the middle of the night and calling a fucking ambulance because then they might take them there and the doctor could convince them not to take the RSO anymore and undo everything we're doing. So I give them my phone number. Ask my wife, man. My wife, I used to get phone calls at fucking 2:30, 3, 5, fucking 7:30, and she'd know. It's like RSO patient, it's fine. So I gave him all this, my phone number, everything, and he left. And I was waiting to hear from him like every fucking day, man. I was like, call me, like in the back of my head, I'm thinking, call me, call me, call me. And like 30 days went by, and even though I was keeping track of all of these other patients' data and clients' data, if I don't see you, I don't have anything to write down. So I have no reason to open your file, right? So I was embarrassed at the time to say I'd forgotten about him. Like it was just, the store was so busy, things were moving so quick. I hadn't been able to stop and think about it. And I remember 67 days after I met him, I was at work. He came walking in, and I didn't know what to think. I was fucking. So I walked over. He was clutching a piece of paper, and he slammed it down so hard on the glass, dude. I thought he was going through the fucking glass display, and I couldn't get a read off him, man. And I'm a people guy, I couldn't read him. I couldn't tell if he was about to slap me and tell me everything was a waste of time. But he looked me dead in my eyes, man. And he said, you saved my life. And I said, what? And he said, I'm cancer free. And I was like I was just no words. And he started crying and I couldn't help it. I started crying. He said, I'm cancer free. You saved my life. I'm alive because of you.